All right, guys. My name is Joshua. I'm from Nigeria, and I'm a full stack web developer, a YouTuber, and also the founder of Learn at Your Pace coaching and mentorship program. You can reach out to me at Instagram. Can reach out to me on Instagram at learnatyourpace.ig. Learnatyourpace.ig. So you can reach out to me on Instagram at learnatyourpace.ig. And if you are new to my YouTube channel, please, before we proceed in the class or before you continue this video, please subscribe, like, and comment. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please subscribe and like my YouTube channel. All right. So I'm organizing.
Normal.
I'm organizing. Hold
Welcome.
on. Sorry about that. This is a live class actually, so people are coming in from different part of the world actually. So I'm actually organizing a 2 week free web development class, and in this 2 week web development class, you are going to be learning that a lot of things. Let me share you the website that we are going to be building at the end of this 2 week web development class. All right, so let's go straight to the point. All right, so by the end of this web development class, we are going to be building this nice website called Asian website. So I already sent this the image of the website to you on the WhatsApp platform for those that are on the WhatsApp platform. And for those who are going to, for those who is going to be, for those who are who's going to be watching this video later that are not in a WhatsApp group, don't worry. um all the images and everything that we're going to be doing here, the file will be made available to you on YouTube, on the comment section actually. So this is what we are going to be building. So in this 2 week web development bootcamp, we are going to be learning HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but more of HTML and CSS, more of HTML and CSS, and just a bit of JavaScript to help us with to help us build interactivity to our website, or to add interaction to our website actually. So but more of what we are going to be concentrating on in this 2 weeks free web development bootcamp is going to be on HTML and CSS, then less of JavaScript. Though after these 2 weeks web development free bootcamp, um I'm going to be running also a JavaScript course, a JavaScript bootcamp, advanced JavaScript bootcamp centered only on JavaScript and Tailwind. So of course, when we are done with this, I will let you know. But though it's not going to be free, but also it's going to be very very cheap, affordable, affordable. So the goal is to make is to bring is to the goal is to actually make tech skills easy to learn and also affordable for you. You get that now. So that's it. So let's go straight to the point. So I think I already sent the curriculum to you guys. The curriculum for these 2 weeks web development bootcamp. I already sent the curriculum to you guys, so you can go through it on your own. So you can go through it on your. Okay, I think that this is not the one we're looking at. So this is the curriculum. Everything that we're going to be looking at today, in order for us to be able to build this website. All right, and this is the day one of the 2 weeks free web development bootcamp. So, all right, like I said on the WhatsApp group, that the first thing that you need in order for you to start this training is a text editor. You need a laptop. You need a laptop and also a text editor. You need a laptop and a text editor. Are you with me? You need a laptop and a text editor. You get that now? A laptop and a text editor, and also a good internet connection as well. So, the text editor we are going to be looking at is Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. I think one person have a question here. Is it? If you have any question, please let me know. You can unmute your mic and speak. If you have any questions, let me know. You can unmute your mic and speak. Uh Actually, you can't use your phone to do that. You can't use your phone. You can't use your phone. But you can be part of this free. You can be part of this web development. You can be part of this free bootcamp. You can be part of it. So of course, the videos is going to be uploaded on YouTube. So you can go back to it over and over again. So when you have a laptop, then of course you can practice all the things that we're going to be looking at in the course of this free bootcamp. All right, you're all welcome. Epil Bill, Samuel Sen, Stephen Wachuku, Onyi Consola Miracle, Kokes, okay, Maraba, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Welcome to this free bootcamp. All right, like I said you need a Visual Studio Code. You need a Visual Studio Code. In order for you to be able to follow along, you need a Visual Studio Code. All right, so you come here. So let me show you how to download it. Though I already have a Visual Studio Code, but let me just show you how to download Visual Studio Code. So you just come here. Just it's something very simple, very simple, very simple. So just search, go to your browser, whatever browser you are using, whether Chrome, Microsoft Edge, but I think I will prefer Chrome. I'll prefer Chrome. So let's search for Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. So you go to the official website. This one here. You click on it. Then you are going to download the version for your. Can you say download for Windows? You can also download for your laptop um, version, whether you're using Mac or you're using Linux or whatever. So for Windows, just click on download for Windows, and you are good to go. Download from Windows and you're good to go. So that's that. Once you download that, then you install. Once you download, you install. Are you with me? Once you download, you install the Visual Studio Code. I should have done a video of that, but maybe probably later. It's something that you can check on YouTube how to download and install Visual Studio Code. It's very simple, very simple. It will even take you up to 2 to 5 minutes. It will even take up to 2 minutes actually. It will take up to 2 minutes. Just download and install Visual Studio Code. All right. Um, let's move on. Then afterwards, the next thing we are going to look at is we are going to open a folder for this 2 weeks bootcamp. We are going to open a folder for this 2 week bootcamp. So I'll go to my file explorer. Get that now. I'll go to my file explorer so I can open it anywhere. So I'll just go to my desktop. Okay, desktop or whichever one you want to use, or maybe document or whichever one. So it depends on the system you're using, whether you're using Mac or you're using Windows. But of course, whatever system you're using, you should know how to create folder. So this is not a beginner course whereby you have to be taught how to operate the system. So you get that. So I believe the people who are watching this video are those who already are conversant with how to navigate their way with their system, how to open folder, open file, delete file, and all of those things, create folder and all those things like that. So all right, so I'll create what do you call it now? I'll create if this I'll create a folder in this directory, desktop directory. But before then, let me accept someone. All right, you're welcome, Mona Lisa. Okay, let's create a folder. Okay, let's still accept someone again. All right, so you're welcome, Mona Lisa. You're welcome, Benita. So there are different people that are joining us from different part of the world: South Africa, Nigeria, UK, and all of those. And okay, let's go ahead. Let's go to. file. Let's go to our file explorer and go to desktop, and let's open a new file. Let's open a new file. So I'm going to open a new folder, and I'll call it, let's just call it 2 weeks bootcamp. Let's call it 2 weeks bootcamp. Yeah, 2 weeks bootcamp. So this is it here. Where is it? Sorry. This is it. 2 weeks bootcamp. So this is a folder. So create a folder called 2 weeks bootcamp. You get that now? 2 weeks bootcamp. So now that we are done with that, so the next thing we are going to look at is open your Visual Studio Code. So if you've downloaded your Visual Studio Code and also installed your Visual Studio Code, all you just have to do is just to, open your Visual Studio Code. Just open. So I'm opening mine now. You will see it now. All right. So this is it. So in the subsequent classes, I'm not going to be showing my face. I just needed to show my face for this first day, so you know who your instructor is. So for those that are just joining us now, not too long, my name is Joshua, and um, your instructor for this 2 weeks free web development bootcamp. All right. Um, Open your Visual Studio Code. All right. I'm going to clear all of this. Okay. So apparently there's something in my. I already opened a folder in my Visual Studio Code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now to open the folder that we have created. We created a folder in our desktop directory, and the title and the name of the folder is 2 weeks bootcamp. So whatever name you want to give your folder, you can give it. The most important thing is structure. We want to be able to create a structure for this bootcamp structure. So the 2 weeks web development or the 2 weeks bootcamp will represent the parent folder of every subfolder that we're going to be creating. So I'll just come to this file here. I'll come to this part where we have file, and you will see open folder. I'll click on open folder. Then you should go to desktop. When you click on desktop, you are going to see the 2 weeks bootcamp folder that I created. So just click on it. Once you click on it, it's going to appear here. You see that now, 2 weeks bootcamp. So just select folder. Click on the select folder, and voila, look at it here. So this is what you're seeing. 2 weeks some 2 weeks bootcamp. So the folder has been opened in my Visual Studio Code. So you will see something like welcome note here and all that. Yes, we have been welcome. So just delete it, just cancel it. We don't need the welcome. Okay, all right. What do we need to do now? Since this is a 2 weeks web development bootcamp, so every class should have a folder. Every class should have a folder. Every class should have a folder. Every class should have what? A folder. So so we are going to create a subfolder now. So we'll call it class one. You get that now? We'll call it class one. So you can create that folder inside of your file directory. Just double click on 2 weeks bootcamp, double click on it, and you can create a new file. Just come to new or right click. You will see something like new. Then you click on new folder. Then you can create a new folder from here directly, or you can do it from the Visual Studio Code. You can do it from the Visual Studio Code. This part here, you can do it here. So here now you can expand. Um you can reduce. You can expand it and reduce it. Just move your cursor to this line here and drag it like this and all that. So you see. Okay, so we have 2 weeks bootcamp. So we want to create a subfolder now. To create a subfolder, just over on this part here. Just over on this part, you will see these four icons. This first one represent new file. This second one here represent new folder. The third one here represent refresh Explorer, and this one here represent collapse folder in Explorer. All right, so I'm going to click on new folder. I'll click on new folder. So click on it, and here I'm going to call this class one. So class dash one, like this. Class dash one. Yeah, okay. Let's do it like this. Class dash one. So you can see we created a subfolder inside of this 2 week bootcamp. So in next tomorrow when we are going to be meeting again same time, we're also going to create another folder called class 2. So we keep creating, subfolders inside of 2 weeks bootcamp folder. All right. Now, aside from that, okay, I think we are done. So if you are typing along, or if you are doing what I'm doing, so of course you should be on the same page with me. But if you are going to watch the video later and type it on your own, of course, no problem. So the next thing we are going to look at is, let's go back to this note, because we are starting with HTML. Because the three things we are going to be learning, like I said earlier, is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And please hold on. I need to attend to someone. Where am I? Okay, yeah. So I said three things that we're going to be learning, three basic web languages we're going to be learning in this 2 weeks free bootcamp is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So, and I said that we are going to concentrate more on HTML and CSS, while little on JavaScript, because we can't learn everything in just 2 weeks. You get that now? But at least what you're going to be learning within these 2 weeks web development bootcamp is enough to get you started in the world of web development. You get that now? So what I'm going to be teaching you, HTML, you don't need to learn HTML again. I'm going to be teaching you CSS. You don't need to learn CSS again. You get that now? Because I'm going to be focusing on HTML and what, CSS. You get that now? Of course, when I mean you don't have to learn CSS again, doesn't mean that you can't improve in your knowledge or look for a better, no. So doesn't mean that you won't learn CSS again. That's not what I actually mean. You get? So don't take my word literally. So let's look at HTML. What is HTML? HTML simply represent hypertext markup language. Hypertext markup language is the standard language for creating web pages. It is a standard language for creating web pages. It defines the structure and the layout of a web page using elements represented by tags. So HTML simply represents the structure of a web page. Whenever you want to define the structure and the layout of a web page, you use HTML. You use what? HTML. So HTML represent or focuses on structure and what, layout of our web pages. You get that now? And there are numerous elements in HTML that we can use to define the structure and the layout of our web page. And one thing I want you to understand in HTML is not difficult, please. It's very, very simple. It's something you can learn within a day. You can learn it within 2 hours. You get that now? Or 3 hours, depending on how serious you are. You get that? So HTML, the most important aspect of HTML are element, tags, and attributes. Element, tags, and attribute. These are the most important aspect of HTML. In fact, that's what makes HTML. Element, tags, and what? Attribute. Once you understand element, you understand tags, and you understand attribute, then you are good to go. You are good to go. So it's not compulsory you learn all the whole elements in HTML, because there are a lot of elements that we can use to define the structure and the layout of a web page. A lot of elements. So HTML is similar to, you can see HTML as a Microsoft, is it, yes, Microsoft Word. Yes, Microsoft Word. Like if you want to write a letter now, take for example this, now this is like a heading text, this also a subheading, and this is a paragraph. You see that in the paragraph you have this tag that is bold here. You can see a lot of things that is happening here. You can see like this is a list using bullet points. All of these things we can use HTML to do that. You can use HTML to do all of these things. You can see all of these things. You can use HTML to do it. All right, and that's why we are here. So that's why we are here. So, like I said, HTML is the standard language for creating web pages. So, if we are to break down the meaning of hypertext markup language. This is it here. Hypertext simply represents or refers to links, simply means hyperlinks that connect to web page, that connect web pages together. Then we also have markup language. So markup language is a way to annotate text to define its structure and presentation. So HTML forms the backbone of every website and is interpreted by browsers to define or to display content. It is interpreted by browser to display content. You get that now? So let's see how HTML fits into web development. Let's see how HTML fits into web development. So HTML is one of the three core technologies in web development. Core, basic, fundamental technologies in web development. So here we have HTML, which represents structure. It provides the skeletal structure of web pages, or it provides the basic skeleton of a web page. It defines content such as heading, paragraph, images, links, video, form, table, anything. You get that now? It defines that. Hold on, let me accept this person. All right, you're welcome, Sophie. Or yeah, sorry, I'm not really good with names. So HTML provides the basic skeleton of the web page. So it defines content like heading, paragraph, images, and links. I've said that before. So then we have CSS. CSS represents styling. It enhances the appearance of the web page by controlling colors, um, fonts, and layout. And we also have JavaScript that deals with interactivity. So it adds dynamic and interactive behavior such as form validation, animation, and responsive menu. So what this simply means is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you look at it in human form, in human form we have the skeleton, then we have the skin that covers what the skeleton. So the skin is what enhances the appearance of the skeleton. So the skeleton actually is the structure of our body. You get that now? So you can see the skeleton as HTML, then our skin as what CSS. We have different skin texture, different. You see that now as CSS, it enhances the appearance. So then we have the way, without JavaScript. Or let me just use, okay, we say the skeleton represents the HTML, our skin represents CSS, then our brain represent JavaScript, the brain. Let me just, in a basic understanding, actually, in a basic way to be able to understand it, represent how we can move our hands, move our legs, just like the way I'm talking. Every part of my body is working. That is JavaScript. So without JavaScript, our web page will be static. So JavaScript is what animates, is what gives life to our web page. So HTML give it a structure. CSS enhances the appearance, deals with the styling, the color, the font, the layout, and every other thing. Then we now have JavaScript that give it life. It give it life. It animates the web page. It makes it interactive and dynamic. You get that now? Make it interactive and what dynamic. So these are the three core technologies that we need to understand before we start branching out to frameworks of JavaScript, frameworks of CSS. So first of all, you need to understand these three things first. All right. So in short, HTML represents what you see, CSS represent how it looks. I love this. And JavaScript represent how it behaves. So HTML is what you see, CSS is how it looks, JavaScript is how it behave. So how okay, that's it in short. So and let's look at setting up our first HTML file. Setting up our first HTML file. So let's look at basic structure. An HTML file starts with the following basic structure. So look at all of this. So this how to create an HTML. HTML boilerplate. So let's go to our Visual Studio Code. I hope you guys are following me. If there's anything you don't understand, please feel free to interrupt me. You get that now? Interrupt me. Just let me know what you don't understand, and I'm going to go over it again and explain. All right. Okay. So let's move on. So we have created a subfolder which is called class one. Now we want to create HTML file. We can also create HTML file in our file explorer, and we can also do that in our Visual Studio Code. So um I'm going to create an HTML file in my what do you call it now, in my subfolder, which is called class one. So everything I'm going to be doing today is going to be inside of what, class one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on class one so that the focus will be on class one. So I'll click on it. So can you see? I click on it. You can see the focus is on class one. This border line here shows that the focus is on class one. But if I click outside of class one, I click here, you can see the focus is no longer on class one. It's now on the 2 weeks bootcamp. Get that now? It's now on the 2 weeks what bootcamp. So, but I want to create an HTML file not inside of 2 weeks bootcamp, but inside of what, class one. So I'm going to click on what, class one. So the focus is on class one. Then I will right click and click on what, new file. Then I will call this index.html. You might want to ask, why index.html? Why can't you give it a different name? Actually, it's just convention. Programming language actually deals with convention. You get that now? So just like if you want to create a CSS file, you do style.css. If you want to create a JavaScript file, either you do script.js, app.js, index.js, main.js, and then server.js. All these things, they are just programming conventions, naming conventions in programming language. You get that now? They are just conventions. So the most important thing in creating a file is the extension name. So now looking at this index.html, the .html is the extension name. That makes it what, an HTML file. So what comes before it, whether index, about, Joshua, Benita, or whatever, it doesn't really matter. You get that now? What matters is what, the HTML, the extension name. Because if you are creating a website that requires a multi-page website, for example, that requires what do you call it, like home page, about page, contact page, you are going to do something like about.html, contact.html, home.html. So every code that relates to home.html will be in that home.html file. So that's how it is. So now we have index.html. So you can give it any name, but make sure that the .html is there because that's the extension name. So now this is what an HTML file. So what I'm going to do is this. Now that we are in the HTML file, this part here, this workspace here, notice here. Yes, for those that are typing along, or those that are going to type after this class, you might notice that your icon might be different. You get that now? Your icon what might be different. So I'm going to show you all of these extensions that can actually make your code look nice like this. So I'm going to show you all of those things probably in the next class. You get that now? So now let's move on. So we are in index.html file. So the next thing we want to do is, before we can start writing HTML code, we need to create or generate an HTML template or an HTML boilerplate. We need to generate an HTML template or HTML boilerplate. So to do that is very simple. All you just have to do, I'm just going to show you the shortcut because you don't necessarily have to cram it. You can't cram it. Not that you can't cram it, but it's not really necessary. Of course, there's a shorthand for it. That's why I love Visual Studio Code. So first shortcut of creating an HTML boilerplate or HTML template is by doing HTML. Just type HTML. And when you type HTML, you're going to see this mnet abbreviation here, giving you suggestion like which type of HTML do you want. So apparently we are looking at HTML5 because that's the current HTML version that we have now. We have HTML4 and other HTML versions, but we're looking at HTML5. So I'm going to click on this second one here, HTML double colon 5. I'll click on it, and voila, it's going to generate this boilerplate for me. You see that now? It's going to generate it, and I can as well highlight everything and delete. And the second way to generate HTML boilerplate is by just type exclamation mark. Once you type exclamation mark, this first exclamation mark, just click on it. It's going to still generate HTML boilerplate. So there are two ways to generate HTML boilerplate or HTML template, and this is it. So you have the doc type, then you have HTML, then the head tag, the body tag, and all of this. So we are going to look at this. So um, let's move on. Let's go back to our notes. So let's explain doc type. What is doc type? Doc type tells the browser this is an HTML5 document. That's the modern standard. This is an HTML5 document. Then after the doc type, we now have what? HTML. HTML. I think I sent this note to you guys. I sent this note to you guys now, so you can go over it. Yes, I did. I did. I think so. I sent this note to you guys. So let's move on. So um, mm, all right. So now we have HTML. So HTML is the root element that contains all HTML content. So HTML simply represents the root element that contains all HTML content. All HTML content. Then inside of the HTML, if you notice here, inside of this HTML, you are seeing HTML here and you are seeing HTML here. So this is the opening tag of HTML and this is its closing tag. More on tag later. We are going to look at tag later. So we have this opening tag and closing tag. Then in between the opening tag and closing tag of HTML, we have the head tag and we have the body tag. So let's go. So it says the head tag represent metadata about the web page. So metadata simply means information about our web page. Information about our web page. So metadata about the web page. So the metadata are not displayed on the page, e.g. the title, the style tag. So take for example, if you look at this, all of this metadata that is inside of this head tag, all this metadata, they will not be displayed in the browser. They will not be displayed in the browser. So this just um this is just an information about our web page. Metadata, chassis, UTF-8, name, viewport, and all of those things like that. So all of these things will not be displayed in the browser. You get that now? So and let's move on to the next one. Then we have the body. So the body contains all the okay first okay we have the title. I think I've skipped it. Title simply specifies the title. The title, it specifies the title displayed in the browser tab. So the title displayed in the browser tab, you can use this title tag for it. While the body tag contains all visible content, visible, what you can see, all visible content such as text, images, and link, and many more. You get that? So, all right. So such as text, images, and links. So your body tag contains all visible content. All visible content. You get that now? So now this is I'm going to change this document. I'm going to change this title because the title is having the value or the content document. So I'm going to clear it. So you have to be very careful so that you won't delete those angle bracket and all of those things. So I'm just going to change this to introduction introduction to HTML. Introduction to HTML. So aside from that, I'm going to save this because if you notice, if you look up here in my this index.html, beside it you will see this circle there. It shows that my my file is not yet saved. So I'll just click on Control C If you are using Windows, okay, so Control S if you are using Windows to save this. Once I save this, it will change from that circle to times like this. So it means that it has been what saved. So how can I preview, or how can I see this in my browser? How can I see this in my browser? It's very simple. For me to be able to see this in my browser is very simple. So just go to the what they call it, the Visual Studio Code. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First of all, you come to this extension here. Look at this icon at the left side. You can see Explorer, you have search, you have search source control. Sorry about that. We have run and debug, and then we have extension. So let's click on extension. So we click on extension. The one that we are interested in is not this. So you are going to install live server. Just install live server. Install live server. So we have live server by retweet day. So I already have this installed. So install this live server. You will see live server. Search it here in the extension box. Just click on it. Install it. Once you install, you'll be able to, you know, open this with your live server. Open this on your browser. So let me go back to this Explorer here. All right, so once for me to be able to open this code, this HTML file in my browser, all I just have to do is come to this index.html, this index.html file, right click on it, then you will see open with live server. There's even a shortcut for it, Alt plus L, Alt plus O. Um, let's move on. So yeah, I'm going to open this with live server. So I'll right click on this, then you see open with live server. So click on this. Once you click on open with live server, now you're going to see it. You see that there's nothing, my browser is blank, there's nothing there. It's because we've not written anything in the what, in the body, because the body represent all, it contains all the visible content such as text, images, and links. You get that now? All right, so let's move on. Let's move on. But what you are seeing here is what you are seeing here is you are seeing empty, um empty white, just white space here, white color. And if you notice here, um if you notice here, you will see something like, if you come to the title tag, what you are seeing in the browser is what, introduction to HTML. You get that now, introduction to HTML. So if you come here, look at what we are seeing here. You can see in the browser, you are seeing introduction to HTML. So that's the only thing that is showing. So now let's move on. We are going to look at basic tags. We'll look at basic tags. There are basic tags we are going to look at. We have the heading tags, we have the paragraph tags, and we have link tag, and we have image tags. These are the tags we are going to be looking at today. So I think that's what we have here. Yes, I think, yeah. So we'll look at everything today. Then in our next class, we'll continue. We'll finalize HTML in our next class, which is tomorrow. So let's look at some basic tags in HTML. Let's look at basic tags in HTML. So I'll come here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a note. I want to create a note. So inside of class one, or probably not inside of class one now, I'm going to do it outside of class one. I'm going to do it here. I'll click on this. I'll click on this space here. Then I'll right click to click on new file. So I'll just do note.txt. You don't have to do this actually. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. So I'll type HTML element. So HTML element. So HTML element consists of a tag. HTML element consists of tags, um, content, and attributes. Or I would say sometimes attributes. It consists of tags, content, and sometimes what, attributes. So these are the three things that makes up that makes up HTML element. When I started the class initially, I said the most important thing you need to know in HTML is the element, tag, and what, attribute. They are very, 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 very important. You get that now. So let's break down HTML element, and in breaking it down, we have tags, content, and what attributes. So let's say, for example, you want to create a paragraph, a paragraph text. You want to create a paragraph text, because if you come to this body tag now, you open it and you type something like this is, or I just type something like welcome to the 2 weeks free web development bootcamp. Now, this is a text, this is a content. So you don't know if this content is a paragraph, or a heading text, or a paragraph text, or even a list, or even a link, or anything. Since we do not specify it here, we don't know if it is a link or whatever. So this is where tags actually comes in. So when we talk about HTML elements, so in order for us to be able to put this in a tag, tags simply represent containers. Tags simply represent container, because that is where we wrap our what, our content. Our content is inside of the, we put our content inside of the tag. So tags, let's zoom on tags now. So tags simply represent containers. So tags can be, we can have and opening and closing tag, and we can also have self closing tags. We can also have self closing tags. So we have opening and closing tag, and we can also have what, self closing tags. You get that now? Self closing tags. So let's look at opening and closing tags. I hope you guys, you're following me. You're following me. All right. So let's move on. How many minutes do I have here? Okay, I have 4 minutes. So you know what? Let me pause the video and send you a new link. I'll pause the video here, then I'll send you a new link to the on the group. So please, immediately I send the link, please just join immediately. Join immediately. Thank you very, very much. All right, so let's proceed. We have a long way to go. So yeah, back to tags. I said tags. We have tags simply represent containers. So we have opening and closing tag, and we also have what, self closing tags. So let's look at opening tags. Let's look at it here. Opening tags, or opening tag. Let's look at it. So we have so this our opening tag looks like. This is it. So you just a bracket like this, less than and greater than sign, or you can call it opening angle bracket and closing angle bracket. So whichever one that you feel you can understand it. Some people prefer less than and greater than, less than angle and greater than angle, or you can make it opening, opening, what they call it, opening closing bracket, or and closing, and I'm confused. Opening angle brackets, yes, opening angle bracket and closing angle bracket. All right, so this is um, um opening angle bracket, and this one is closing angle bracket. Yeah, now, so all right, so that's for opening tag. So opening tag is this. Then we have closing tag. Closing tag is similar to closing tag is similar to closing tag is similar to opening tag, but there's a slight difference. So this is the difference, forward slash. That's the difference, forward slash. You see that? This is the difference. And self closing tag, self closing tag is also like this. Self closing tag is the same thing as opening tag. So we are going to look at the difference, and we are going to look at the difference elements that have self closing tag. We are going to look at that, but let me add this. Let me accept this person. So we are going to be looking at elements that uses both opening and closing tag, and we are also going to be looking at element that only uses self closing tag. You get that now? We'll look at that. So now we have defined our tags. So this is how opening and closing tag looks like now. So this is how it looks like, opening and closing tag. So you can see it's similar to all of this that we have here. So you can see that when I was saying the most important aspect of HTML is element tags and attributes. Now you understand. So once you understand tags, you understand element, you understand attributes, I'm telling you, HTML will be a piece of it will be a piece of cake for you. You get that? So um okay, so let's proceed. Um so here you can see opening tag and closing tag. Then this is just tag. So if I come here, I copy what I have here and I paste it here. I paste it in between the opening and the closing tag. Lot. If I place it in between the closing and the opening and the closing tag, this is still nice. We are getting better. This is the opening tag and this is the closing tag. So the difference between the opening and the closing tag is what? The forward slash. Is the forward slash. You get that now, right? So, but this is still not enough because this still did not tell us that this content is paragraph, this content is heading, this content is list or whatever. You get that now. So what we are going to do is to add a character to the tag. So if I had something like p tag here now, can you see this p tag that we have here now gives meaning to the content. So it helps us know that the content that lies between the opening and the closing tag of this p, the opening and the closing tag is what? A paragraph. So this p there represents what? Paragraph. So the p that is in the opening and closing tag represents what? Represent a paragraph tag. So any content that is in between the opening and the closing tag will represent what? A paragraph what? Text. You get that now? A paragraph content. So with the tags helps us to be able to define the content that lies between them. So now we are going to first of all start with a heading tag. So now I believe you understand this now. Can you see the opening tag of paragraph and the closing tag of paragraph? So if you go back to the HTML far now, you will see that look at this HTML here. HTML, this HTML tag, this is the opening tag, and look at the closing tag. You know, I told you that the difference between the opening tag and closing tag is what? A forward slash. Opening tag does not have a forward slash. It is only closing tag that has what? Forward slash. So look at this opening tag here. So this HTML represents what? The character. It tells us that this is what? An HTML tag. So forget about this lang equals en. That's attribute. We'll look at that later. So this is the opening tag of HTML and this is what? The closing tag of HTML. So in between the opening tag and closing tag of HTML, that's where we have the head tag and the body tag. So now even the head tag is what? Opening, and it's an opening tag and also what? A closing tag. The body too is also what? A opening tag and what? A closing tag. You see that now? So the only even the title too as well. The title is what? Opening and closing tag. So the title tag is both opening and what? Closing tag. So how many opening and closing tag do we have here? First of all is HTML, followed by the head tag, and followed by the title, that's 3, and followed by the body, that's 4. 4. Then let's look at other tags that does not have that are self-closing. So self-closing tags are tags without opening tag. It's kind of confusing, but you will understand it. Look at this doc type now. This doc type is just a self-closing tag. Look at it. This is a self-closing tag. This meta tag here is also a self-closing tag. This one too is also what? A self-closing tag. You get that now? So a self-closing tag can either be this or can either be what? This. Can either be any of this. You get that now? That's what it means. So if you look at this doc type now, you can see it's looking like opening tag, but this is a self-closing tag. For you to be able to understand this, is this for you to know if a tag is opening and is an opening tag, every opening tag must have a closing tag. Please take note of that. Every opening tag must have a closing tag. Every opening tag must have a closing tag. You see that now? Must have a closing tag for it to be considered as opening and closing tag. But if an opening tag is standing alone and you can't find the closing tag, it becomes self-closing. So if you have an opening tag here, for instance, now this doc type, and you can't find the closing tag, this is what it makes it what a self-closing tag by default. The same thing to what meta tags. All meta tags are self-closing tags. Even the doc type is also what a self-closing tag. So all of this, even the boilerplate, you can see it's all about tags, element, attributes. So you can see HTML is all about elements, tags, and what attributes. So if you don't understand this, it will be very difficult for you to be able to understand HTML. You get that now? So let's look at the heading tag now. So we have heading tag. So heading tag is used to define heading on a web page, and there are different types of heading. So we have H1 to H6. So H1 is the largest and the most important heading, while H6 is the smallest. You get that now? H6 is the smallest. So let's look at it one after the other. So now I'm going to cut this. I'm going to cut this. I'll be needing it later. So let's start with the heading tag. So to create an heading tag, now I told you that we have heading tag H1 to, where is it now? Heading tag. Heading tag. We have H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. All right, so we have H1, H2, H3, H4, and H6. So so let's look at it. Let's look at H1. So to type H1, all you just have to do, just do less than, then type H1, then you do greater than, then automatically it will generate the closing tag like this. You can do that, or you can just do it like, you can just type H1. Once you type H1, Mnet abbreviation is going to bring it out and you click on it. But in the event Mnet abbreviation is slow to bring it out, type it yourself. Explicitly type it. You get that now? So once you know, okay, to create H tag, H1 tag, just do H1 like this, and automatically it will create the closing tag. But if you don't want to do this, you can rely on the Mnet abbreviation. Just type H1 and press enter. It is going to generate the opening and the closing tag. So here now I'm just going to, so you can see a cursor blinking in between the opening and the closing tag of H1. That is where you have to write the content. That is where you have to write the content of your H1. So I'm just going to do heading heading 1. So I will come here. Once I'm done with this, I will move my cursor to the end of the closing tag of H1. I'll move my cursor to the end of the closing tag of H1. Then I'll press enter so that I can create a new space and type H2. I'll type H2. I'll press enter and I'll do heading 2. So I'll move my cursor again to the closing tag of H2. I'll press enter. I'll do heading 3. Heading 3. So I'm just going to duplicate this and I'm going to be fast. Heading, I'll duplicate this. I'll make this 4, 5, and what 6. And so for you that you are learning HTML for the first time, don't duplicate. Type it one after the other. Get used to typing it. Get used to the how to write it. Get used to it. You get that? Get used to it. So I'm going to do 5, and I'm going to do 6, and I'm going to show you how it looks like. So just save, Control S to save. If you are using Mac, I think that should be Command S or whatever. So once it has been saved, you don't need to open the file again in your browser. Since you've opened it with live server initially, you don't have to open it again with live server. So now look at what we have here. If you come here, can you see heading 1 to heading 6? So heading 1 is the largest, heading 6 is the smallest. I hope You're all following me. All right, so this is it here. Heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. So that's the heading tag. So let's move on to the next one. Let's move on to paragraph. So paragraph is used to define a block of text. Paragraph is used to define a block of what? Text. So let's define a paragraph. So I'll come here after the H6. I'll press enter, then I'll do paragraph. I'll press enter. So this paragraph, I can just type something. Can type something, but in the event you don't have an idea, you don't have what to type, you are you don't have what to type, you are short of content and all that. There's there's we can use a dummy text. You get that now? We can use a dummy text. So I'm going to use a dummy text in this case because right now I don't know what to add to the paragraph context. So I'm just going to use a dummy text. To use a dummy text, we're going to use lorem. So this is how to do it. So just type lorem. So this lorem helps you to be able to generate text or content for your web page. So I want to generate like 30 words. So to generate 30 words, just type lorem 30. You can generate as much as from one word to thousands of words. So but I'm going to generate just 30 words. So I'll just type lorem 30. Make sure it appears in your mnet abbreviation like this, then press enter. So this is going to generate 30 words for me. I don't have to count it, but 30 words. So if you save now and you come to your browser, you will see this. So that you will see this paragraph. So you see this is a paragraph. This is H1, this is heading tags, and this was paragraph. So that's that. So we are done with that. And we have links and we have images. So we are going to be looking at all of these. We are going to be looking at this just like a summary. So links is used to create hyperlinks to other pages or section. While images is used to display images on a web page. So we are going to look at this one after the other. So yeah, let's talk about the role of attributes in HTML tags. The role of attributes in HTML tags. So here it says that attributes provide additional information about HTML. Attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. About HTML elements. They appear inside the opening tag and always follow the format. This format like this. So let me repeat that. Attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. So we provide additional information about HTML elements. They appear inside the opening tag. So please take note of opening tag. They appear inside of the opening tag and always follow the format, this format here. So let me show you an example of that. Take for example, if you notice in the opening tag of HTML, you will see lang. So this lang here represent language. It helps us to define the language of an element. It helps us to define the language of an element. So apparently you are seeing lang here and equals to en. So en is representing English. So this is an attribute. So this lang is representing the name of the attribute, and this en is representing the value of the attribute. So the lang is the name of the attribute, the en is the value of the attribute. So all together makes what? Attribute. You see that all together makes it what? Attribute. So also if you look at the meta tag, this chasset and the UTF-8, they are all what? Attributes. Also the name and this viewport value here, they are also attributes. Look at this content and this weight, blah blah blah. All of these things here, they are also what? Attributes. So here it says that attributes provide additional information about HTML elements. So it comes with a name and what? A value. So altogether it is called what? Attribute. So for example, examples of attributes, we have the source attribute. So it actually specifies the source URL of an image. So when we are going to image tag, we are going to use the source attribute. Then we have the href attribute, which specifies the destination URL for a link. So this one we are going to also going to look at it when we are dealing with anchor tag links. Then this alt. which simply means alternate text. It provides alternative text for images used if images does not load, or for screen readers. We are going to use alt as well too. Then we have the um, title adds a tooltip that appears when hovering over an element. So this title too, there is also an attribute too. It's not the title element that we have in the air tag. It's different. So that's it. So let's look at links. So we've done h1 to h6. We've looked at paragraph. Now let's look at other HTML elements like links and images. Then we stop there for today. Then I'll give you hands-on for today's class. All right. So let me check if you are still following me. Okay. Okay. All right. So let's move on. So let's look at links. Links. So working with links. Working with what? Links. Mm. So we have internal links, external links, and anchor links. I love that. Internal links, external link, and anchor link. So let's start with internal link. So this links to another page within the same website. Internal link simply means linking, it links to another page within the same website. So let's look at that. Let me do something like let me create a new file here. Let me create a new file inside of class 1. Inside of class 1, just so click on class 1, right click and click on new file. I'm just going to type about.html. About.html. So in this about.html, I'm going to generate a boilerplate now. So to generate boilerplate is very simple. You just need exclamation mark, press enter, it will generate this for me. So I'm just going to change the title from document. I'll change it to about page. I'll change it to about page. So here I'm just going to give it something nice. I'll give it probably, let's say h1. I'll say about learn at your pace. So I can do something like a paragraph that says learn at, let me do something like this. Okay. Okay. Learn at uh, learn at your pace is a one on one, and also group coaching and mentorship program. Mentorship program. Okay. Okay. Let's see this. All right, let me use this AI. Okay, look at this now. Learn how to paste, blah 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 blah. So let's just leave this. So I'm going to look at this. Don't worry. So this is what we have here. So we have about.html, then index.css. So now if you come to the internal link, now this internal, you see that link to another page within the same website. Link to another page within the same website. So apparently in this folder here, class 1, we have about.html and index.html. So I'll go to my index.html. I want to be able to create a link that once I click on that link, it will take me to what about.html file. So to do that, I'm going to use what we call this anchor tag here. This anchor tag. So I'll just come to the HTML. I'll come under the paragraph, then I'll click on link. I'll click on link. So once I click on, okay, let me show you. I'll just type A. A represent anchor tag. anchor tag for link. So I just press enter, and it's coming with this what it's coming with this attribute here, this href. It's coming with this attribute. So then in between the opening tag and closing tag of the link, I'm going to write something like um I'm going to write something. Let me just make it simple. I'll just write about page like this. Then this href is going to help me specify the destination of about page. So I'll just do something like I'll come here, I'll do about.html. So now this means that once I click on about page, it's going to take me to what? This about.html file. So if I saved it now and you come to my file now, can you see? You can see that about page. So this is the appearance of link text. So once you have a text inside of a link, this is how it's going to look like. You see that? This is how it's going to look like. You get that now? So the moment I click on about me, it's going to take me to the about file. So click on it. Can you see? About, learn at your pace. Look at all of this. But there's no link that I can click on that will take me to the home page. So what I'm going to do is I'll go to the about HTML. After the paragraph, I'll create a link and I'll call it home page. So here I'm going to direct this home page to index.html. So if I save, I come here now. Can you see home page? If I click on the home page, take me to what? To this home page, to the index.html file. If I come back here, if I click on that about, to take me to this part. So you can see how I'm navigating from one page to another page. So this is what we mean by, so link actually enables the idea of surfing the internet. So how you can navigate from one page to another page, from one site to another site, and all that. So you can see all of these pages, they are in the same folder, class one. They are my they are in the same folder, class one. So you can see I can click on about, it will take me there. I can click on home page and it will take me there. So you get that now. It's very, very, very simple. All right, so that is internal link. That is link to another page within the same website. Link to another page within the same website. You get that now? The same website. So let's look at external link. So this external link simply means link to a different website. Link to a different website. So let's take for example, uh, I want to link, I want in this my about page now, I want to link to my YouTube page. So I can just come here and do something like a paragraph and say, I'll type something like for more um, educational, for more tech content like this, visit my YouTube, visit my YouTube channel. You see that now? So this is still a paragraph. This is still a paragraph. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to click on visit my YouTube channel. I'll click on, so, or I will cut this visit my YouTube channel. This part where we have visit my YouTube channel. I'm going to cut it and I will type a anchor tag there. So you can see showing me a. So I want to generate an anchor tag. I'll click on it. So I'm going to paste what I just cut, the text I cut. I'm going to paste it in between the opening tag and the closing tag of my link. So I'll paste it there. So you can see that I can nest an element inside of another element. I can nest element inside of another element. I can nest an HTML element inside of another HTML element. Take for instance now this anchor tag here, I nested it inside of what? The paragraph. So if I save now, you will see something here in the about page. If you click on about page, you will see something like for more tech content like this, visit my YouTube channel. So this visit my YouTube channel is different from other paragraph. It's different from this other text that is in the paragraph. The reason is because this visit my YouTube channel content text is inside of what? The anchor tag. So now I'm going to provide my link. I'm going to provide the link to my YouTube channel. So hold on, let me do that. All right, let me paste the link here. So inside of my href, that's where I'm going to paste the link. Can you see the href is the attribute name? Then this way I'm going to specify the value. So the link that I copied, I'm going to paste it here. So I will save. Can you see now? So you see, we have the paragraph, and this is the link. Inside of the link, we have the href. The href is having what this value www blah blah blah. This is my YouTube channel. So once you save this now and you come here, so can you see, for more tech content like this, visit my YouTube channel. Where you have visit my YouTube channel, click on it. It's going to take you to my YouTube what channel. Can you see? It's going to take you to my YouTube channel. So it's still loading. So look at what we have. So you see. So all right, but the thing is that I've lost my previous page. I've lost my previous page. How can I go back to the previous page? I have to click here and go back to what previous page. But I don't want that. I want a situation whereby when I click on this visit my YouTube channel, because this is an external link. I'm trying to link to another website. So it's an external link. So what I'm going to do is, in order for me to still keep my page while I while I go to a YouTube to the YouTube website, what I'm going to do, I'm going to open, once I click on visit my YouTube channel, it's going to open in a new browser. Sorry, in a new tab. It's going to open in another tab. So how can I do that? It's very simple. I will come inside the opening tag of the anchor tag, this part here. So after this value here, after this href, the value of the href here, I'll create space and I will type target. Once I type target, this target too is actually an attribute. I'll press enter. So it's giving me four things here. Our focus is on blank underscore blank. I click on it. So now this will actually help me to be able to open this YouTube channel in a different, in a new tab, or on a new tab. So if I save now and I click on visit my YouTube channel, so now I can see I still have my web page, though this YouTube my YouTube channel is open on a different what tab. You see that now? It's very simple. So let me just cancel this. So that is um external link. So you can do that aside from my YouTube channel. You can do that for Google, or probably you are building a website and you your what you are doing, or your content, your the website demands that you link to another website. You can do something like this. So we have internal link, we have what external link, and we also have what anchor link. We have anchor link. So this anchor link links to a specific section within the same page. It links to a specific section within the same page. So we've looked at two things. The first one is internal link, to link to another page within the same website. Website can consist of multiple pages. You can have home page, about page, contact page, whatever page. So how you can link from one page to another page, you can use internal link. External link is when you want to link to a different website that is different from your website. Then anchor link is when you want to link to a specific section of your website, a specific section of you want to link to a specific section within the same page. So let's take for example, I have this Asian website now. Should I use this, or I'm coming, let me use Travelo website. I think that will Travelo. Travelo. I hope I'm correct. I don't think so. I think I have that in a new tab. Travelo. Okay, yeah. Have this website. Is it this part? No, no, no. I'm looking for a website that. Mm, okay, not this. Okay, let me use this website here. That will take time, but let's do it. Let me use this to explain anchor link. How you can link from one section within the same page. So now we have about, home, about, services, and tour. So you can see about, everything is in one single page. Services, stores, and everything here. So if I click on about, it's going to take me to about section of that same page. If I click on services, it's going to take me to services section of that same page. If I click on tours, it's going to take me to tours of that same what page. You see that now? It's going to take me there. So if I click back to home page, if I go to tours, can you see? If I click back to home page, it's going to take me to the top of the what of the page. So you can see how we are linking from one section of a web page to another section of the same web page using anchor link. You see that? So that's that. Um, let's quickly do an example of that. So after that, we'll look at images. So look at images. After images, then we are done for today. So let me check how many minutes I have left here before the call ends. Okay, 24 minutes. Okay. I hope you guys are following me. So let's move on. What I'm going to do is this. Okay, I'm going to create a new page. I'll just call it. I'll create a new file inside of class one. I'll call it single page dot html. Single page dot html. I'll generate my boilerplate. I'll call this anchor link. Anchor link. Then I'm going to have. I'm going to have. Okay, let me explain this. Okay. Let's see. Mm, I'm going to have a UL. Though I've not taught you UL or that list and all that, but let's just do that. I'm going to show you. So I have a list. So I'll have a link here. So this link, I'll do um I'll do profile. Just hold on. Just flow with me. I'll do about, and I'll do something. Let's just say services or services. Then inside of the UL, I'm going to have like a container. I haven't touched this, but just hold on, hold on, please. So let's move on. So we have H1. I'll call it my profile, and then I'll have a paragraph. So this paragraph, I'll do lorem 500. I'll also type another paragraph. I'll do lorem 500. So I'm going to generate 1,000 words. Can you see? 1,000 words. You see that now? So that's for this div. So this div here is representing a container for this content, a container for this content. So I'm going to generate another div that will be for about and services. Sorry. So I'll do on that div. I'll say h1 and I'll do about about me. So here I'll do another p tag. So I'll do lorem 500. I press enter. I do another p tag, another lorem 500. Press enter. So the next thing I'm going to do another div. So this div is going to be for services. I'll say h1 services. Now do a p tag. Since we are just working with text for now, that's why I'm limited. So I think we've done images, we've done other things. I will have made it very robust. So lorem 500. I'll press enter. I save. So can you see? So let me just collapse all of these div here. You can see so let me collapse this first div, collapse the second div. If you come here, you see an arrow down here, collapse this. So we have three divs, but the divs we need to give it a name. because the thing is, whenever you want to, where is it? Whenever you want to link to a specific section within the same page, you have to use an ID and this. So, okay, let me explain that. So now, this first div here represent profile. The second div represent about. The third div represent ID. Sorry, represent services. So I'm going to give this an ID attribute. I'll give each of the div an ID attribute. And I told you that attributes are written in the opening tag of an HTML element. So I'll come to the opening tag of HTML. I'll move my cursor to the opening tag. So you can see my cursor is inside of the opening tag. I'll press space. Then I'll type ID. So ID, I'll press enter. So this ID, I'm going to give it a value of profile. Can you see I'm going to give it a value of profile? So this is an attribute. ID simply means unique identifier. So I will give this other div an ID of about. And I will also give the last div ID of services. So can you see this div now, or this container? The div represent container, they are block container. I'm going to explain block and inline element in our next class, but you can see this div here. So these are containers that is holding HTML elements that relates to profile, relates to about, relates to what services. So this is a profile, this is a container, a div, and I give it an ID of what profile. So in order for me to be able to link the anchor tag here, now for me to be able to link this anchor tag with my content, in order for me to be able to link it, it's very simple. ID equals to profile. This is the first, this is the attribute for the first container. ID equals to profile. So in order for me to be able to link this anchor tag that has the value, that has the content of profile, to this div that has the ID of profile, in order for me to link it, it's very simple. I'll do a hashtag here, then profile. So this hashtag simply means ID. So hashtag is the symbolic representation of what? ID. So that's the symbolic meaning of what? ID. ID, the hashtag, the symbol for ID is what? Hashtag. This hash here. So we are saying ID profile. You see that now, ID what? Profile. So now with this ID and the href, that is what we are going to use to link an anchor tag to its what? To its content. So this ID is having a value of profile. So the href is having hashtag what? Profile. So this hashtag represent ID. Then the value also, we have to attach the value to what? To this hashtag. There shouldn't be space. It's not hashtag space profile. It won't work. It has to be together. Hashtag what? Hashtag and what? Profile. You get that now? Hash and what? Profile. You have to add that together. You get that now? So it means that this link now has been successfully connected to what? To this content. So you can see it's the same thing. The value of this ID is profile. That's what we have here. This hashtag is still the same thing as what? ID. So I'm going to do the same thing too for about and also for services too. I'll do that same thing too here. So you can see I've successfully connected my links to the content, to their respective what content. So I'm just going to open this in a live server. I'll open this with a live server. Now, can you see? Can you see? So if I click on services, it's going to take me to services. You see? I'll go back. If I click on about, it's going to take me to about. And if I click on profile, it's going to take me to profile. So you can see, but though there's no smooth transition between them. There's no smooth transition. So when we get to CSS, we are going to look at that. Unlike this website where if I click on services, you can see the smooth transition, see smooth transition. You get that now. We can also build this website too as well. But in this case, you can see I come to services. It just takes us to services section suddenly. There's no transition in the page. There's no smooth transition there. So this is how we can link from one section of a website to another section of to the same. This is how we can link from one specific section within the same what web page. So I think that's that. So let's quickly look at images because I have 15 minutes left. Let's look at images. So adding images and the importance of alt text for accessibility. So how do we add images? We add images by using what, this image tag here to display an image. So let's quickly look at that. So I'm going to go back to my index.html. Apparently we've created like three HTML file here: about HTML, index HTML, and single page HTML. So I'll go to my index.html. Before this anchor tag here, I'll come under the p tag, I'll create image tag. So I'll press enter. So this image tag is a self-closing tag. Image tag is a self-closing tag. Can you see? And this image tag is coming with two attributes. We have the source attribute and we have the auth attribute. So this source attribute is going to specify the part of our image. So that's what we are going to look at now. So now there are two ways we can use images in our web page. Is that we use the image address. So let's take for example, I want to search for cat image here. I'll go to my browser and search for cat images. Search for cat images. Let's just use let me come to images tab here. Let me see the one I can use. Okay, let me use this. I think I like this. I'll click on this. So you can click on anyone, but let me click on this. You can click on anyone. Once you click on this, you come to this this section here. So I will right click on it. You will see something like copy image address. So click on copy image address. So the image address has been what, copied. So I will come to my VS Code and I will paste that image address as the value of my source attribute. So I'll paste it in between that code there. Control V, I'll paste. So this is what, my source. This is the image address of the cat. Then for the auth attribute, I'm going to give it auth attribute. Simply means in the event that the image refuse to display, probably there's an issue maybe in the naming convention and all that. In the name, I can display a text. So I'm just going to call this cat image like this. So if I save and I go back to my browser where I have about page. Okay, let me go back to the home page here. So can you see? You will see cat. Fantastic. This is a cat image. Cat image. You can see that about page is side by side with the image. The reason is because image and link anchor tag, they are inline elements. I said I'm going to address that in our next class. So I think that's that. So look at images. So we've been able to use image in our web page. So we looked at the image address, but what if we want to download this image? If I download this image, you can see something like save as, and I'm going to save this as cat. Save this as cat. I press enter. Because the disadvantage of copying image address, what if the website the image is hosted on, with the image is deleted? That means we'll not be able to have access to what, to the link to the image itself. So that is why we have to download the image. We have to download the image. And also take for example, if we do not, if we remove a word here, for example, let's say this static dot blah blah blah. Okay, let me come here. Let's say cat in danger. If I remove r from here, you know that something is wrong with our code. If I come to this introduction to HTML, you will not be able to see the image again, but you are seeing the alternate text or the alternative text, which is what, cat image. So let me bring it back. Control Z and so on, Control Z. So look at it here back. So I've downloaded the image. I'll come to the file explorer. So I'll come to the file explorer. You will see I'll go to my download. I'll come to download. I will click on this cat. I'm going to cut it. So I'll cut and I'll paste it. I'll come to the 2 weeks bootcamp. I'll come to class one and I will paste it there. See that I'll paste it there. So if you go to my VS Code now, you will see cat.jpeg, JSS, cat.jpg. So I hope I still have enough time. Okay, I have less than 10 minutes. So let's go back. So you will see cat.jpg there. Then instead of using link like this, instead of using link, image address like this, I'm going to remove the image address, and I'm going to reference the cat image that I have in class 1. So how am I going to do it? So I have to provide a relative path for this image. So I'll just come here, I'll do dot forward slash. So dot forward slash simply means current directory. So the current directory that the cat is seated. So can you see current directory is what? Class 1. Because apparently you want to access cat image from index.html. Look at, we are in index.html, and index.html file is inside of class 1. Also the cat.jpg image is also inside of class 1. So my index.html file is in class 1. So in order for me to be able to access cat.jpg, what I'm going to do, I'll do dot forward slash. So this dot forward slash represents the current directory of where my file is. That means the current directory where index.html is seated. So if I do dot forward slash, it's going to bring out all the files that is inside of this my current directory, which is class 1. So can you see about.html, cat.jpg, index.html, single page.html. So all the files that is inside of class 1 is bringing it out for us here. Why? Because of what? Dot forward slash. So can you see I am inside of index.html, and I do dot forward slash. It's going to take me to what? Class 1, because that's the current directory of index.html. So when I do dot forward slash, all I just have to do is just reference what the image cat.jpg, and I save, and look at, you still see the same thing. Where is it? You see the same thing here. Voila. So that's all. That's all. So it's very, very simple. So please go back and watch the video over and over again for you to be able to understand it perfectly well. You get that? All right, I think we have come to the end of today's class. So we've looked at what is HTML, how HTML fits into web development, setting up our first HTML file, basic tags like H1 to H6, paragraph, link, and images, the role of attributes in HTML tags, working with links, internal link, external link, and anchor link, adding images, and the importance of alt text for accessibility. So we've looked at everything today. So your answer will be so for those that are in the WhatsApp group, because of course when I post this on YouTube now, there are a lot of people that are going to be watching this video from all over the world. You get that now. But for those that are on the WhatsApp group, so this is your answer for today's class. So create a basic web page with a heading tag H1, then a paragraph describing yourself, then an image with a description in the alt attribute, then a link to your favorite website. You get that now? A link to your favorite website. Then save the file as index.html and open it in a browser to see the result. So that is the hands-on exercise for today's class. Get that? So I think that's that. So I will meet again tomorrow. So ensure you do that answer and submit it to me. So once you are done with it, screenshot your code and the result on your browser, screenshot it and send it to me personally. All right. Bye bye. We'll see um tomorrow by 7 p.m. tonight. I hope you enjoy the class. See you tomorrow. Bye.